Hello, and thank you for joining us. Delighted to welcome you to the SEACOM conference. It's just great to be back with SEACOM again this year. I'd like to start by thanking Barry and the team for putting together such a strong agenda and such a good event. So really looking forward to learning from this at a personal level and also at the professional level. So my name is Adrian Jones. I am the Vice President for EMEA for Tasktop, and as well as having taken part in previous SEACOMs, Tasktop is also, again, a sponsor. Delighted to be contributing to the success of the SEACOM community here. I'd also like to thank Chris and the team at HSBC for a really insightful session there. How they've moved the needle in terms of their time to market, in terms of the responsiveness, the happiness of their teams, and also to move from a fundamentally inside-out thinking to an outside-in thinking is pretty inspirational. And what we are seeing is that so many organizations are now starting to complete the picture in terms of enterprise agility, building on all of the good work for Agile and DevOps thinking that we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years. But overlaying on top of that, the concepts of flow and the concepts of strong metrics-based approach to sharing, collaborating, and working across all of the stakeholders within the business to significantly move the needle in terms of what is possible in software delivery at scale. And what we're seeing is that this comes down to three fundamental components. The first is ensuring that organizations are orientated around measuring value. What does success actually look like? And how do we help to align everybody around the right outcomes that are success-oriented? And that means, in many ways, moving away from some of the core concepts of metrics. Every organization we go to has so many metrics, but none of them up till now have been able to focus on the entire end-to-end flow. They've all focused on particular departments or particular proxy metrics, or they're measuring ceremonies, or they're measuring activities as opposed to measuring the outcomes. And only really when you get those two components right, can you then start to deliver in terms of continuously improving teams. This whole concept of overlaying flow and metrics-based thinking on top of Agile and DevOps is fundamental for ensuring that all of the key stakeholders, from the exec leadership who are focused on OKRs and focused on the business direction, through to the product owners and the product teams that are working so hard to improve their own particular products, can do so in a consistent, in a joined up, and in an aligned and focused way. It's great to see a lot of the thinking that we've been talking about for the last years having been incorporated into the latest release of SAFe. So SAFe 5.1 includes not only competency and outcome-based metrics, but also, crucially, flow-based metrics. And these flow-based metrics are almost exclusively based on the work of Dr. Kersten, who is the author of the best-selling Project to Product and also happens to be the chief executive of Tasktop. Mick's book, which has been revolutionary in terms of helping organizations thrive in the digital age, comes down to a number of key concepts, but one of the crucial elements of this is the recognition that what flows in software delivery comes down to four simple components. First of all, features, risks, defects, and debts. And all of these different components that flow are mutually exclusive and comprehensively exhaustive, which means that the more work is done on, say, risks, the less capacity there is available to work on features. Sounds reasonable. For the first time, though, we're able to actually measure end-to-end and really look at the mix of features, risks, defects, and debt consistently across the organization to help to inform decision-making. This has all been embodied into Mick Kersten's flow framework, which is the most widespread method to support flow thinking on top of Agile and DevOps at scale. We also, for example, use a product, Tasktop Viz, to visualize and to produce the product level dashboards that bring all of the thinking, all of the key metrics and the alignment to business results to life. But at its heart, what the flow framework does is to leverage all of the good work that's being done with the teams at the base level. As the work flows from team to team, from tool to tool, from repository to repository, to abstract all of that work up into the flow distribution units and apportion the balance between all of those 4 distribution units, which then serve to inform the flow metrics. And they're deceptively simple flow metrics, but extremely powerful at scale. Flow velocity, how fast is work flowing through the system? Flow efficiency, how much of the time is that work actually being worked on, and how much of the time is it in a wait state? Thirdly, flow time, which is equivalent to cycle time. And then lastly, flow load, which is a measure of WIP, how much work is being pushed through in parallel. At what point do teams start thrashing, for example? And those key flow metrics, when used as first order metrics and used as this method of communication across all of the different stakeholders, can really help to tie and guide into the business results that need to be achieved by the organization. So at a very high level, that's some of the thinking. We very much hope that that we can discuss more in some of the open sessions, in some of the online sessions, and look forward to thinking about how we could help you. But just initially, there are a number of key places that you can find out more information. Firstly, online, of course, from the tasktop.com website. Secondly, I would recommend the flowframework.org website. This is a community-based site that we've recently established an interactive flow community, and there's a lot of great thinking from the leading practitioners around the world, and a place where you can get guidance and ask questions and help peers and really interact with the community. There's also the Flow Institute, which enables you to undertake training and improve your understanding of some of the key principles and components around flow-based thinking. If you would prefer a book online or printed matter, then best-selling Project to Product, I would recommend that, and also Making Work Visible from another Tasktop team member, Dominica de Grandis. And then lastly, we look forward to working with you on the chat channels after this session, and whenever, do speak with us. We can help you based on our experience that we've got around the world. We can help to move you from where you are now to significantly moving the needle on software delivery. So I'm Adrian Jones, Adrian.Jones at tasktop.com. I can be found on LinkedIn and Twitter and other things. Wish you a really valuable conference and look forward to discussing further. Thank you.